Hello everyone, I'm Herb Day, and on this edition of Beyond the Stage, we're going to visit with Brady Seals. Now you'll remember Brady as one of the founding members of the award-winning country group Little Texas. Brady is a native son of the Buckeye State, and at a recent concert at Richard Lynch's Keepin Country Farm in Waynesville, Ohio, Brady was inducted into the Ohio Country Music Hall of Fame, and I grabbed him to visit with us. We'll talk with Brady right after this. Beyond the Stage is made possible in part by Southern State Community College's Truck Driving Academy, where you can be behind the wheel of a big rig in as soon as 4 weeks. Call 937-393-3431 to find out how. And now, Beyond the Stage. Hi everybody, welcome to Beyond the Stage. And today, I'm so happy and pleased to present to you Brady Seals. Now, we're going to talk about who Brady is, and a lot of you know who he is. But if you remember Little Texas, that's going to bring back a lot of memories. As a matter of fact, Brady, I was a disc jockey at the time when you came out with that.
Wow.
And that was my first exposure to you.
Wow.
So anyway, welcome to Beyond the Stage.
Oh man, thank you so much for having me. I tell you, it's so cool that nowadays we can kind of look back on that and reminisce and really appreciate blessings that come, through the years. So it's good to be here, man.
Yeah, well, it's great for you. Now, you are an Ohio boy.
I am.
Tell me about that.
Well, so my mom and dad's parents were both from Kentucky, right? Mm-hmm. So they moved up to Ohio for Fisher Body, General Motors, right?
We have that in common.
Yeah, right. Which a lot of people did back then, and I just came from my folks who's living in Hamilton, Ohio now. And they're as country as Stovewood.
Yeah.
Just really country people. So, sometimes people don't really realize how country Ohio is.
Yeah.
So, growing up here was such a pleasure because I was able to really, get all of the Southern influence. Yeah. But also get all that northern food, right?
That's right.
All that awesome Italian food, and I just the good barbecue and stuff. So it's just, I don't know, it was a wonderful childhood, and I couldn't have asked for it better.
You were here how long before you decided to hit the road?
I was 16.
16.
I was only 16, yes. And looking back on it now, I don't know how in the world my mom and dad let me go out on the road at that age, but I did. And basically, I went out on the road with a guy named Josh Logan, who's from Cartersville, Kentucky. We played down in Richmond, Kentucky all the time at a place called the Maverick Club. So I'd go back and forth all the time, and play honky tonks. And so, but I went out on the road with him with the promise that I would come back, take night school, and graduate with my class. And that's exactly what I did.
And you did.
I did, So I was able to graduate with my class, but I got a head start on it all.
Yeah.
So I've been out on the road for quite some time.
Well, God bless you for doing that, because there are so many people who have those intentions, but they just don't pan out.
Well, it's so true. And opportunity, it's one thing to have an opportunity, but but another thing for the opportunity to pan out.
Yes.
Because one opportunity can just go away, but this one kept on kind of opening up doors as I went through, and I think that's a God thing.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's what we call it, God thing.
That's right.
It's where you should be.
Yeah, and speaking of, that's where I kind of got all this started, was in church. I grew up, a little holiness place out there on Thule Road, and it was just amazing. And started playing piano in church, and one thing led to another, and then I'm playing Jerry Lee. What I'm saying? From Jimmy Swagger to Jerry Lee, right? So it was just this really cool transition for me, as a musician, player, singer, songwriter, all that kind of stuff. Because my uncle was kind of from around here as well. He grew up in Kentucky, but basically moved up to Ohio as well.
Is that Troy?
Troy Seals,
Oh.
which the last time I checked, he's had over 40 #1 songs.
Man, what a writer.
Oh,
There's a honky-tonk angel who'd take me back there.
that's exactly
Yeah.
right. That's exactly right. I mean, wrote Conway Twitty's first #1 song.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, that's all I wanted to be was a songwriter.
Yeah.
You know, and then it panned out somehow or the other for me to be able to be in this business. And
Yeah.
I'm just very blessed.
How did Little Texas come about?
Well, funny thing, I've been out on the road with Josh Logan. We played this little fair up in Massachusetts called the Big East State Fair. And we were sharing the stage with this 50s and 60s band called the Varsities.
Mm-hmm.
The Varsities actually turned into Little Texas
Is
later
that
on
right?
down the line. Yeah. So we get back off of the road or whatever, and they call us. We're staying in contact or whatever. They had some people that knew some people in, like they were doing artist development stuff for Warner Brothers at the time. And they said, "Hey, you want to be in a band?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be cool." So I go down there, and it was me and Del Gray. Del Gray was also from Hamilton. We played in a little band out here called Tyler Twist, based on Tylersville Road out here, right? So anyway, we got in that band, and we did some 50s and 60s stuff, and then it turned into Little Texas.
Yeah.
We got our name from a little place in Texas, or not Texas, in Tennessee, called Little Texas, because it was known for its shenanigans back in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
So that's how it all started.
So you all meshed well together. You wrote your biggest hits together.
Yes, and it was really out of necessity, because as a new band, you kind of get pitched with B material,
Sure. Yeah.
So we were needing some stuff to kind of break through, and luckily we were able to land on some things and learn quickly. But finally, after I had kind of been writing for a little while, I finally called my Uncle Troy. And I said, "Hey, will you write?" And he said, "Yeah, come on." And so my first real writing session, other than writing with the guys in Little Texas, was with my Uncle Troy Seals and Max D. Barnes, who wrote all of those incredible songs back in the day, like I think it was like When We Make Love by Alabama, and
Yes.
Drinking and Dreaming, and just incredible songs.
Yeah.
So it was an eye-opening experience to be able to sit down in the room with. To me, it was almost like Superman and Batman.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Those guys were amazing.
I would settle being Alfred in that room.
Yes.
I'll bring you something to drink.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I felt, right?
Yeah. What is it? A word for a third? Isn't that?
That's right.
Even if
A
you
word
could
for
just
a
throw
third.
an and in there.
That's true. That's right.
And here, sign this.
Yes, amen. I was hanging on for dear life early on, man, for sure.
So where are you now? What are you doing?
Well, I'm doing all kinds of stuff. Through the years, I've been able to stay halfway relevant. Whenever I left Little Texas, I made 2 solo records at Warner Brothers, working with Rodney Crowell, which was an incredible experience.
Yes.
He brought in people like Timothy B. Schmidt of the Eagles, and Vince Gill, and Bela Fleck, and Wynonna Judd, and I mean the list went on and on and on. And so I learned a lot during that. And then after that, I made this crazy little rock and roll record where I worked with Andy Sturmer of a pop group called Jellyfish, and I did that for a while. Then back in 2005, Hot Apple Pie came out with the song Hillbillies Love It in the Hay.
Yeah.
So we got a deal at DreamWorks doing that. And then I had one more solo record after that. And then I formed a duo with Lua Cross, which is Dash Cross's daughter, and we call it Seals and Cross too.
How about that?
So we've been out on the road for the last 6-7 years, playing all of the hits, trying our best to not mess them up.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, that's fantastic. What what a career already.
Well,
and you're just getting started.
Well, I mean, I'm 55, and I'm just grateful I'm on this side of the soil. There's so many, that don't make it, and I was telling my fiance the other day, when I look at my wrinkles, it's like my God, I've earned these things, man.
So let them shine.
That's exactly right. Everybody needs to know what I've gone through, right? But it's been good, and having the last name Seals, I've just been so honored. I really have. Not only Troy, but Jenny Seals of Seals and Crofts.
Right.
And Dan Seals, or England Dan, as some call him, being cousins of mine. It's just been such a blessing.
Oh, yeah.
And it does open doors, and people understand where I come from, and what I'm all about. And it's really, really cool, and I thank them for opening all those doors.
Well, praise the Lord for that, and it's just so exciting. And now, you have another Ohio-based honor. You're being inducted into the Ohio Country Music Hall of Fame tonight.
Who'd have ever thought it, man?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
really.
saying? I mean, seriously, I wish that my mom and dad were around. They'd be right out there in the front row.
I'm sure they would.
And I'm just so thankful. I really, really am. I know Jackie, the guy who
Jackie Thomas,
Jackie was basically saying, you're going to say some couple words, and I'm like, thank you, and thank you. That's about all I got. But it's just so cool, man. It's just really, really cool, because I'm all about country. I'm all about country, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been influenced by so many genres of music, and you have to be as a songwriter.
Sure.
To kind of open your brain up to Paul McCartney or Dan Fogelberg, or all of the greats. And but for me, my roots have always been Willie, Waylon, Haggard, Jones.
I remember. I forget what artist it was, but he was on the Opry one night, and he said, after he had done his 2 or 3 or 4 hits, he said, "Now that's what I do for a living. Here's what I do for me." Right. And he did some Jones, he did some Haggard, he did,
That's it, man. We're all just fans.
Yeah.
We're all just fans of that incredible classic country, man.
Yeah. What is your favorite thing? Is it singing? Is it writing? Is it fronting? Is it being a part of the band? Or what?
I would have to say that it would always be songwriting. I don't think that country music would be country music without the songs. I just
couldn't be.
You know what I mean? I just really believe that that's where it all begins. And not to go into a tangent, but it's really a shame how, after all these years, how it's considered the bottom of the pyramid, not the top.
Right.
The top nowadays are the singers, and they go out and they make big money on these tours and so on and so forth. But the songwriter kind of gets left behind, and is not paid like they used to be paid back in the 80s and 90s and so on and so forth, just because of the streaming, and how the changing of the guard has kind of let us down, because now we're just not able to make the same kind of money as we used to make, and a lot of the songwriters are going away, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, and if that happens completely, all we'll have is what's been written.
Well, and that's not so bad.
That's
not so bad.
Unless you happen to be one that loves to write.
Well, exactly, and that's where I'm at. I will always do it just because I love to do it. But boy, there was a lot. I forget however many. I think it was like 85% of songwriters in the 90s left town.
Oh my!
Ain't that crazy?
Oh my! It is.
It's pretty crazy.
I know it. Well, Brady, I want to thank you for being on the show. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's so good to get to meet you, but it's so good to be here during your induction to the Ohio Country Music Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much, man.
All right. Brady Seals on Beyond the Stage. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Beyond the Stage. If you enjoy what you see here, please click like at the bottom of your screen and subscribe to my channel. For more of your favorite country music and the men and women who make it great, I hope you'll visit us often here on Beyond the Stage.